Welcome back once again, all of my low carb friends, and for those of you who are here for the first time, welcome. Today I have another very easy keto dessert recipe for you. Today we are going to make a keto coconut flour red velvet cupcakes. And if you want a printable version of this recipe, you can check out my website at janet'sdeliciouslowcarbkitchen.com. You can find a printable version of this recipe and other goodies there for you. And if you're new to the channel and you want to see lots of easy, delicious, low-carb keto recipes, make sure you click that subscribe button and click the notification bell that's right next to the subscribe button. That way you could be notified every time I put out videos every Wednesday and Saturday. And if you'd like to help support the channel, make sure you scroll down in the description of the video. You'll see some affiliate links. Anytime you purchase anything using those affiliate links, a small portion of your purchase will go to me and help support the channel. So, while you do all that, let's get cooking. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Lightly spray or line 10 cupcake molds and set that aside for a minute. In a large mixer bowl, combine 120 grams or around 1 cup of coconut flour, 10 grams or around 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 15 grams or around 1 tablespoon of baking powder, 126 grams or around 3/4 cup of the granulated sweetener of your choice. I'm using granulated monk fruit sweetener. You can use whatever granulated sweetener you want. You can also adjust this more or less depending on how sweet you want your cupcakes. 1 gram or around 1 teaspoon of salt. And if you're sensitive to the taste of coconut flour, you can toss in a few dry spices to kind of balance out the coconut flour taste. That's up to you there if you want that. Sift or whisk all the dry ingredients together until everything is fully combined and there are no lumps in the dry ingredients. Add 4 large room temperature eggs. Make sure they are room temperature so they stir in more smooth. Stir the eggs into the dry ingredients until everything is fully combined and all the dry ingredients have been moistened by the eggs. Add 9 tablespoons of butter that's been melted and cooled. Make sure it is cooled. You do not want hot butter in there. Stir the butter in until everything is fully combined. Add 135 grams or around 9 tablespoons of plain yogurt or sour cream. Make sure this is room temperature. As I always tell you, room temperature ingredients blend together better, which makes for a smoother dough, which makes for a lighter cupcake. Stir until everything is fully combined. 11 grams or around 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You can adjust the vanilla more or less depending on how much of a vanilla hint you want in your cupcakes. Stir everything all together until everything is fully combined and you have a smooth dough that has formed. Stir in 1 to 2 teaspoons of red gel food coloring until it is fully combined and evenly distributed throughout the dough. Now, how much food coloring you use depends on how red you want your cupcakes. It can vary depending on brands. It can vary depending on whether you're using gel food coloring or traditional liquid food coloring. I'm using gel food coloring, so I only need 1 to 2 teaspoons. I use close to 2 teaspoons for the particular brand of gel food coloring that I use. However, if you're using traditional liquid food coloring, you'll most likely need around 1 to 2 tablespoons, which can slightly affect the moisture level of your cupcakes. So if you are using liquid food coloring instead of the gel food coloring, you may need to add just a tiny bit more coconut flour so that your ingredients all binds together well and isn't too wet. Scrape down the sides of the bowl and push the dough to the center of your bowl. If you're wondering whether or not you got the right consistency of your dough, you can take a portion of it and roll it around in your hand to make sure that the dough is coming together easily. If the dough comes together easily and forms a smooth ball, then you know you have the right texture. Divide the dough evenly between your prepared cupcake molds. It's roughly around 3.5 tablespoons for each mold. Now, I will give you a heads up about this. It really is best when you are making coconut flour cupcakes to use straight-sided silicone cupcake molds. Coconut flour uses a lot of liquid, and so it has a very moist texture once it is baked. And because of that, the ridges that are in the liners and even some of the lined silicone molds, they can press into your cupcake, and then when you try to remove the liner, you run the risk of your cupcake tearing apart. Not to say you can't make these without it, but just a little heads up advice there for you. I'll put a link in the description where you can buy the one that I have if you'd like to check that out. Once the dough is divided evenly throughout the prepared molds, then use your fingers or the back of a measuring cup and press the dough evenly throughout each one of the cupcake molds. Make sure you get them as even as possible and try to keep the tops as smooth as possible. Now, if you're wanting to make this into just a single layer cake, then instead of using cupcake molds, just line an 8 by 8 inch cake pan with parchment paper, let the paper overhang a little bit, and then just press your dough evenly throughout the cake pan if you're just wanting a single layer cake rather than cupcakes. Once your cupcakes are shaped, place them in your preheated oven, bake at 350 degrees for 18 to 20 minutes or until a tester comes out clean. For me, 18 minutes was perfect. Everyone's oven is different, so you're just looking for a tester to come out clean. If you're making this a single layer cake rather than cupcakes, then you would bake it at 350 degrees for 25 to 30 minutes or until a tester comes out clean. Once the cupcakes are done baking, remove them from the oven. They still will be a little bit soft, but they will firm up as they cool. So allow them to cool in the cupcake molds for at least 30 minutes or until they're firm enough to remove without them falling apart. After 30 minutes and your cupcakes have firmed up, remove them from the cupcake molds and transfer them to a wire rack and allow them to cool completely before frosting them. For the frosting, in a large mixer bowl, place 9 tablespoons of very soft butter. Beat the butter on medium-high for around 45 seconds or just until the butter is smooth. Add 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Beat on medium-low for about 20 seconds or just until the butter and the vanilla are completely combined. Turn the mixer onto low and gradually add in 342 grams or around 2.5 cups of the powdered sweetener of your choice. I'm using powdered monk fruit allulose blend. You can use whatever powdered sweetener you want. Also, make sure you stop the mixer and scrape down the sides of the bowl as you need to. Once all the sweetener has been added, increase your speed to medium and beat on medium for around 30 to 45 seconds or until everything is completely combined and creamy. Now, once this is all combined, if the frosting is too thick for you, you can always add a teaspoon or so of the milk of your choice until it is your desired consistency. Once the frosting's all combined, I will leave a link in the description to my cream cheese frosting if you prefer to use that rather than buttercream frosting. Pipe or spread your desired amount of frosting on your cooled cupcakes. Once your cupcakes are all frosted, you can eat them immediately. If you do have any leftovers, store them in an airtight container in your refrigerator for up to 5 days. Eat and enjoy. And that's our recipe of the day. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you click that thumbs up like button, click that subscribe button, leave me a comment if you want to. Let me know if there's any recipes that you'd like to learn how to make, and I'll do what I can to get those out there for you. And as always, keep cooking.